Hi everybody, it is week 7 and we are going to be working on tags that include our challenging and our organized this week. So first of all, I want to do a recap of last week. We had some great activities where you incorporated those belonging tags. Lon and Diana and Carol, y'all's activities really included the pedagogical partnerships where you've got students that have some input on the classes. Carol, you were asking, what you could do differently to help them. Diana, you've got them making real world problems themselves. Sometimes I do that and I let them use them on tests. Lon, you had them sharing their their primary and secondary impacts of COVID, and then had them they had input, on the timeline. I think it's great. She shared that timeline. If y'all want to go and look at it, it looks very nice. Stacy and Karen, you've got your activities were showing representation. You've got your students, moving bodies around, Stacy, and there's lots of different representations that can happen there. Karen, you were doing virtual sessions with guest speakers. I love that because you can do a mixture and show just all kinds of people represented that are in your field. And I think students can really make connections when they see people that are working in their field and they can perhaps ask questions from them. I think that that's really great. Jeffrey, you had a great discussion that evolved in your class. I know you had planned for it a couple of weeks ago, and it finally happened. And you were really showing students you used mitigating bias, and you also used representation where they're sharing their stories, and I think that's so important. Lou, you put yourself out there and shared your own story, so I think that just shows such caring for your students. Yibin, I love what you've done with your syllabus, and I love that you have created that group of the group code of conduct. I think that's really important. It really helps students feel like that they can share and that they feel valued, and that their opinion is going to be valued in their group when you've got the parameters set up. So I think some of you had some just wonderful activities that you're working on in your classes. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, because what you do each and every week is important. And I appreciate you participating in Lumen on top of everything else that you're doing in your classes. So again, thank you so much. So this week we're working on organized and challenging. So we've got those sets of tags. I want you to look through those. This is a plan week, so we're going to be planning how you would incorporate tags that are organized and challenging. So it could be prior knowledge. How do you assess your students? Do you do any scaffolding when you're doing a lecture or a video that they're watching online? How are you making connections, which some of y'all have already exhibited that tag very well. Self-reflection. Carol, you had them doing a self-reflection activity this week, so I think that's wonderful. I think that it's self-reflection is not something that a lot of people have their students do, and it's so important, and it can be so impactful and powerful. Something that I always struggled with was my higher order thinking tag. So that was something that I always work on, and my high expectations tag. So be thinking about those tags as you're working this week, and make a plan. This is our last of our planning. So we're going to plan this week. We're going to implement next week. And then that last and final 9th week will just be kind of a wrap up reflection about how the circle went. So I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I look forward to reading your reflections and see how you're becoming organized and challenged.